What's cracking, big dogs? It's 1 p.m. Saturday. On to the third coffee of the day. That means it's the Patreon live stream every week, every Saturday, 1 p.m. For the Patreons only. We're talking sit starts, Q&As, all that good stuff to help you all with your Week 10 fantasy football lineup. How we doing? How's everybody's weekend thus far? I got to close the blinds. Is lit. Millie Tings. What up, Codeine? How we living? I actually got to shut that light off. I'll be right. BRBs. Now we're alive. We bike. Luke knows. Ryan knows. What's up? What up? What up? What up? Let a few people roll in before we start. We're going to start with some shadow coverage nonsense. Should be a short list because normally the Patriots are playing. They're on their bye week, and they shadow everybody. We got 6 teams on the bye this week. Unfortunately, that's like half of my E-Town Get Down roster. We have the Broncos, the Patriots, the Eagles, the Redskins, the Jaguars, the Texans, all on bye. So a lot of people hurting. Maybe your opponent's hurting. Maybe it's good for you. I don't know, but it ain't good for me. So we'll start off with some shadow coverage. This week, we can expect Julio Jones to be shadowed by Marshawn Lattimore, although this is per PFF, per Pro Football Focus, these shadow coverage charts. Though in a lot of the matchups that the Falcons and the Saints end up playing, they put Marshawn on Calvin Ridley, and they use the second cornerback, who I believe is Eli Apple right now. It's actually playing pretty well, on Julio, plus putting the safety over the top. So I'm not sure he'll get shadow coverage, but one way or another, it's going to be a tough matchup for Julio because he'll either get shadowed by Marshawn or they'll use double coverage on him. Allen Robinson going against Darius Slay should get some shadow coverage. Odell Beckham, Tre'Davious White, and then Mike Evans, Patrick Peterson. So the first 3 guys, Lattimore, Slay, and White, have all been very, very good against coverage this year. Patrick Peterson's been terrible since he's been back. So use that as it may. Those are the only 4 or so receivers that they expect to be shadow coveraged thus far. What up, y'all? How we doing? Oh, all right. We got the lighting set up a little bit. What's up, everybody? Michael Gallup or DJ Moore? That's actually a really good one. I think DJ Moore has been an absolute monster. I think he's been someone that's actually been flying under my radar a little bit. He has been targeted at a very high level. They do have a tough matchup against Green Bay this week where he'll probably see a lot of Jair Alexander. So that's tough. But, I mean, he's seen 10 targets, 9 targets, 10 targets, 8 targets. So him and Kyle Allen have had a really, really, really strong connection. And I think had he scored a few more touchdowns, he's on pace for 90 catches, almost 140 targets, 135, 140 targets. And you combine his rushing with his receiving yardage, he's almost near 1,200 yards. So if he could find the end zone a few more times, we'd be looking at him as a monster breakout candidate. So DJ Moore is finally starting to find a little bit of consistency. That being said, I do like Michael Gallup a little bit more. I know he's been a little bit inconsistent, but Minnesota, if there's a place to attack this defense, it's definitely their secondary, not their ground game. And with Cooper a little bit banged up, I kind of like Michael Gallup to take a step up, though. I don't think it's close for me. Moore is my wide receiver 20. Gallup's my wide receiver 18. So I'll leave y'all to that. How's Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee? Now, this is actually iced coffee from a little shop across the street. We support local business here. It was fucking $4 for this little iced coffee. So local business is actually big business nowadays in Brooklyn. Everything's so expensive. What up? Hello, Michael. If you're joining us on YouTube, by the way, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and you can get into these sit-start Q&As every Saturday privately if you sign up on patreon.com/BDGE. Need two. Flex. Two of these guys, half PPR. Curtis Samuel, Hollywood, and 10 Gid. I'm going to go with the first two. Samuel, Hollywood. I like Ted Ginn as sort of like a sleeper pick this week, but I think that's probably getting a little bit too cute. I think the Saints will end up running the ball like 40 times between. I think Latavius is in for like an 18-touch workload again. Kamara probably around 16 to 18. But I think they just chew up clock and kill the Falcons on the ground. Are the Bears D-droppable at this point? I think every D is droppable all the time, to be honest with you. Outside of probably the Patriots, but I'm always streaming defense, no matter how good they are, unless they're like legit elite, like the Patriots have been, or the Niners, depending on matchup though. Like if the Niners, if their next 3 games were against the top 3 offenses in the league, like Kansas City, maybe like Baltimore or whatever, I don't feel good about them in my lineup. So yeah, I would. My rule of thumb is pretty much every D is droppable at any point. But on the flip side, as we get towards the playoffs, I do like rostering multiple defenses depending on the matchups. Like I always look ahead. Like tomorrow, if your waiver wire runs again tomorrow morning, I would already be looking at streaming options for next week. Like whoever is playing against, the Miamis of the world or those guys, if there are streaming defenses, I would look to pick them up before this week's game so you don't have to fight for them on the waiver wire next week. There are even leagues last year. I remember I was rostering 3 defenses at a time. Odell or Lockett this week? Worried about Lockett for sure. Full PPR, need to start 2. Manny Sanders, Golden Tate, Calvin Ridley. The first two, Corey. Manny Sanders, Golden Tate are both about to eat. I mean, Emmanuel Sanders looks like fucking 2014 Emmanuel Sanders. And he's like the only option in this passing game, especially with George Kittle likely out. Definitely Manny Sanders, and Golden Tate's also like the only weapon we have here for the New York Football Giants. Full PPR, need 2. Wide receiver, Kirk, Moore, MVS. Definitely the first 2, Mike. Love Kirk this week against Tampa Bay. And like I kind of already touched on, DJ Moore super underrated this year. But I love the connection we're seeing from Moore and Allen right now, and MVS has just been shot. Which 2 would you start in PPR? Robert Woods, Curtis Samuel, or where'd that go? Robert Woods, Curtis Samuel, Marvin Jones. I would start Robert Woods and Marvin Jones, Ryan. Don't particularly love any of the starts, but I don't think Marvin Jones always does well interdivision, and Robert Woods, obviously, he's been not the fucking staple of consistency this year. But with Brandon Cooks out, I think that Woods will see a little bit of an increase in target share, and hopefully, he starts making things happen. So I like Woods and I like Marvin Jones. Codeine, what up? Is Byron Jones on Diggs Sunday Night Football? So I don't think that the Cowboys have been using any sort of shadow coverage on the defensive side of the ball. Let me look right now. Yeah, they haven't shadowed a single receiver yet this year, so I don't expect that to be the case. I mean, I'm sure they'll have some kind of bracket coverage where they have, one of the top cornerbacks, whether Jones or whatever that other dude's name is, plus a safety over the top on Diggs, because he's like their only weapon with Thielen out. So he's going to see tough coverage. But again, like when Thielen's out, Diggs is always in the smash spot. Odell, Robinson, or Golden Tate half PPR. So I'm definitely going to get Odell out of there, Luke. And personally, I'd roll with Golden Tate because he has a much higher floor than Robinson, given that he obviously has to rely on Trubinsky. But we'll go with Tate there. Unless you absolutely need the ceiling, then maybe I'd go elsewhere. But Chubb or Aaron Jones rest of season. That's a good. I mean, you're just like fucking picking straws here. It's not a clear winner to me. If I had to choose one, I guess I would probably go Nick Chubb. But like, I get a lot of those trade questions all the time. Like, oh, should I trade, Chris Godwin for Tyler Lockett? Should I trade Aaron Jones for Chubb? And it's like, no answer for that. I'm not gonna be able to predict that when it's that close. It's like wide receiver 7, 8, running back 8, 9, rest of season. I don't know. If there's no clear winner, I would just leave the team as it is. Standard lead, Negan RB2 and a flex spot. Singletary, Jalen Samuels, Kareem Hunt. Joda, you're definitely going with the first two, Singletary and Samuels. You're going to want one. Samuels has no competition in that backfield. Tough matchup versus the Rams, but Connor's out. Benny Snell's out. Edmonds is going to be out. So definitely give me Samuels there, and I'm not starting Kareem Hunt until we actually see something out of him. Full PPR flex, Samuel or A.J. Brown? That's a good question. I would probably roll Samuel here. You know, I love A.J. Brown, but the Chiefs have been really, really good against opposing wide receivers. Although this game does have some shootout potential given Patrick Mahomes is back and Corey Davis is probably limited. So it's really, really, really close. It's kind of a coin flip for me. Maybe, you know what, actually, maybe I probably would lean with A.J. Brown there, Mr. Influence, now that Corey Davis is going to be out. Hawker Cook at tight end, standard scoring. They're like back-to-back in my rankings for me. I'll actually go with TJ Hawkinson here, Earl. I think Chicago's actually been low-key good against wide receivers in fantasy. They've been able to shut down some of the outside guys, so maybe they start looking over the middle a little bit more. They both have very low floors, obviously, but give me Hawk ceiling. Songbird, what up? Flex ball, full PPR. Singletary at Cleveland. Christian Kirk at Tampa Bay. Crowder against the New York Giants. John Brown at Cleveland. So you need one of them. That's tough. I would probably throw out Crowder just because I think he has the lowest floor out of everybody. I would say I'm actually going to go with Christian Kirk here. I'll go Christian Kirk against Tampa Bay. They've allowed the most fantasy points to wide receivers on the year, so I think they're in a smash. But I think that game could end up hitting like 56 or 58 on the over-under. Both defenses are fucking straight trash. With George Kittle possibly sitting on Monday, should I start with Jay Howard or should I take the risk and leave Kittle in my lineup? The news does not sound good. It's likely that he's not going to play. And if he does play, he'll probably be super duper limited. So I'm pretty risk averse when it comes to situations like that, Joda. So I'll probably throw Howard in my lineup if I were you. But I mean, obviously monitor reports like super duper closely. And if they say that he's likely to suit up, maybe you want to go with it. But right now it doesn't sound good. Who can we trust on the Rams offense besides Kupp? Nobody at Pittsburgh. Goff's going to be terrible this week, I'm assuming. Every time he's on the road, every time he's playing in weather that's like sub 60 degrees, he turns into a little girl. So we're going to fade everybody besides Cooper Kupp. I am playing Robert Woods in one of my leagues because it's bye week, and I don't really have any other fucking options, but I'm not happy about it. So the only player you're happy about is Cooper Kupp. Go get the Steelers defense for a nice schedule. Yeah, I mean, go get the Steelers defense for a nice schedule, but also because they've been fucking dynamite. The last like 5 or 6 games in a row, they've had double-digit fantasy points. They've low-key been better than like the Patriots over the last month. Calvin Ridley or A.J. Brown? Give me Ridley there. Efren. Niha. Half PPR. Need to start either David Johnson versus Tampa Bay or Mixon versus Baltimore. Ooh, that's ugly. David Johnson, though. I would go David Johnson. I think they'll use him a lot in the passing game. Rest of season outlook on Fournette. Yeah, top 8-ish. Everyone keeps talking about how this touchdown regression, positive regression is going to come. I don't. Who the fuck is who are we to say that? I mean, football's such a small sample size in terms of the number of games that we have in a season. That yes, like over the long run, touchdown regression should be there, but. We're 10 weeks into the season, so it's possible it doesn't. But he's getting all the work, so yeah, he's not someone that you're really looking to give away right now. Full PPR, Coleman or Rojo? Give me Coleman for sure. I added all the stud RB backups in all of my leagues. I had bench spot, smart move. Yeah, definitely. This is officially handcuff season. What do you use for DFS? I actually don't play DFS, which is why I have Joe on my channel. One, because we're in. Actually, I can submit lineups, but I don't play DFS. That's why I have Joe come on my channel every Saturday because he's the DFS guy. So I pretty much ask him the questions. I lead the conversation, but I give it up to him because he knows what he's talking about. But if I did play one, it would be DraftKings. If there's one platform I want to give my money to, it would be them. Standard League, should I trade Devin Singletary and DJ Chark for David Montgomery and Latavius Murray if I have Kamara? I think that's a fine trade. I think you lock yourself in for an RB1 for the Kamara part, and I think David Montgomery is obviously on the up and up. He's seeing a ton of fucking touches, so he could be really good going forward. Joe, I like that move for you, as long as you're not like killing yourself at wide receiver, giving away Chark, although he's been far from consistent, so I doubt that's a huge problem for you. Standard Sculling. Need to start a wide receiver at flex because the buys need 2 receivers, and options are Curtis Samuel, Devontae Parker, AJ Brown, DK. I'll probably roll with the first 2, just based on matchups, based on the volume target that those guys should see. OBJ this week or pick up Crowder full PPR? I actually still have OBJ, I think, ranked ahead of Crowder. You know, it's funny. Like I do these. I do these videos, and like sometimes when you guys ask me the questions and I look at my rankings, I give out a different answer than the actual rankings that I have. But OBJ right now is my wide receiver 24 in PPR, and Crowder's 26, I think. So it's really close. And actually, if it's my team, I actually would probably throw Crowder in there over OBJ just because the matchup is way better, and we're going to see a lot of shadowing from Tre'Davious White on OBJ. Half PPR, Le'Veon Bell, Joe Mixon, or Robbie Anderson for flex. If Bell's playing, then it's Bell. Aaron Jones plus Herndon for Nick Chubb, half PPR. Like I said, I mean, it's a fucking moot point, Jones for Chubb. I don't think it's a clear winner there. So I'm not going to sit here and I'm just a fucking guy on Twitter. I'm not going to pretend to be able to predict the future between 2 guys who are both fucking beasts. Tom Brady kisses his kids on the lips. Yes. Thank you for reminding me about to downgrade him in my rankings. Oh, he's on bye this week. Lucky for him. Should Darren Waller owners be worried? I mean, what are you going to do? He's a top 5 tight end. Like, there's nothing you can do except continue to start him. I think he gives you weekly upside that only like 3 or 4 tight ends in the entire league give you. So, if I own him, which I don't in any of my leagues, unfortunately, I'm not too worried about him. Geis or Freeman rest of season? That's really close. I think it depends if you need to start players, like if you need to start them over the next 2 weeks, because Geis obviously is not back till week 11. So if you need a starter like right now, then Freeman's obviously the play. I think that they'll probably have similar workloads rest of season. Freeman is I don't even know if you could. They're definitely a better offense, but I think it's close. I'd probably take Freeman, though I like the upside of Geis. And there's always a chance that Freeman just gets fucking benched for Brian Hill or something because he's gotten nothing going on the ground. How do you feel about Brandon Cooks given his concussion history? Would you pick him up if he was available? Admittedly, I wouldn't be too excited about that pickup. I mean, if you have a roster spot to use, sure. Obviously the upside in the floor is not anywhere near what we wanted it to be, and now he's injured. So wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see Cooks for a while. So I'm not excited about it. I would do it only if I really had leverage to pull that off. Chris Carson or DJ Moore PPR? I'll roll with Carson. The workload is just too massive. Did you go to the business school at Binghamton? So I did a program for my master's, my MBA, which was at Binghamton, or that was the school I did the program through. But we did the program in Manhattan. So we went to the School of Optometry, which is right across the street from Bryant Park, and so we worked full time throughout the week. It was a program for people that work full time, and then on Saturdays we'd have class from like 7 a.m. till 5 or 6 p.m. at night. So yeah, I did my master's at Binghamton, but it wasn't physically at Binghamton. If that makes sense. FPPR. Need input a tight end and flex. Bench options are Jonnu Smith and Herndon or Robbie and AJ Brown. Already got Evans, Julio, and Hill, so I'm looking for the safer play. I actually really like Jonnu Smith this week, so I would throw him in at tight end. I already liked him prior to Corey Davis, like kind of being hurt, but now without Corey Davis, I think they're going to have to throw to Jonnu Smith a lot. So definitely like Jonnu Smith at tight end. I think at flex, I'd probably go Robbie over AJ Brown. I think I've been saying it's Robbie time for like fucking a month now, and he's so on and off. I don't think I'm looking to fire up both Jonnu Smith and AJ Brown. So I'd probably go Robbie over AJ. Elijah. Ryan, non-football question. What's a good site for business casual clothes, man? I guess it depends on your definition of business casual, because obviously I've been working from home for the last fucking 2 years, and this is like my idea of business clothing. But even when I was working at an actual company, I was in marketing, and marketing companies out here like having zero fucking dress code. Actually, most companies nowadays don't have any dress code in New York. So for just business casual clothes, if you're talking about, maybe like a pair of chinos, I wouldn't go too expensive. You can head over to like Uniqlo or, I think Uniqlo is pretty good for just like straight, like navy or khaki kind of pants. And then in terms of up top, I'm not really sure what you're looking for. I rock a t-shirt almost every day. Singletary or Dumont rest of season? That's really fucking close. I would probably go with. I'd probably go Devin Singletary. I like what we're seeing in the passing game from him in terms of his involved meat. Full PPR league. I am 8-1 right now. Do I trade Aaron Jones and Sutton for Montgomery and T.Y. Hilton because of their nice playoff schedule? Sutton is always on the bench. No, absolutely not. I would not do that. Big downgrade at running back from Jones to Montgomery, and then Sutton to Hilton. Hilton's hurt right now. So I like Hilton as a buy low candidate, but I don't think you're buying low. I think you're trading at value, if not losing the value, Trevor. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, baby. DJ Moore, Curtis, Boyd, pick 3 out of 4. Wait, what? Didn't you just give me 3 options? DJ Moore, Curtis. Kurt, you got to re-ask that question because I'm fucked up. Smash that like buttons, people. Thank you, George. Thank you, George. This is why I fucking hired you. You're so good at marketing. Yeah, if you're joining us on YouTube. Again, yo, hit that thumbs up button if you're enjoying the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And head over to patreon.com/BDGE if you want ins on the sit start. I didn't even know Kittle was out. Fuck me. What are some good streaming tight ends PPR? Jonnu Smith. Are you worried about Aaron Jones rest of the year? I'm a little bit worried. I've been lucky. All of the weeks that he's had like down weeks have been weeks that I like blew my opponent out. And ironically, I feel like all the weeks that he puts up like 40 points, I end up losing. So I haven't really been as worried about him as most people probably are when they actually need him to win. I'm a little bit nervous with Devontae Adams back. I won't lie. I still think he'll have plenty of good games going forward, though. Thoughts on Jonnu Smith against KC in a full PPR league? Yes. What would you think about McKissick? No. OJ Howard. Fuck it. Yo, Snacks is so full of shit. We were talking about Fade the Public on Thursday's episode, how I was like, I need a streaming tight end. I think I'm going to pick up OJ Howard. And the whole time he's like, don't do it. Like he's going to give you 2.7 points. You know what Snacks does? Uses fucking $8 of his fab money and picks up OJ Howard for this week. Such a fucking cunt. That's why on the Fade the Public Twitter, I put up a selfie of Snacks with just a picture of a snake. I was pissed. And if you like him, would you start him over Parker? No, definitely not. J.D. McKissick, he's referring to. Half PPR, Robert Woods versus Pittsburgh, Smokey Brown versus Cleveland, or Spaghetti Anderson versus New York. I really wish that Spaghetti Anderson nickname. He needs to be better. That's why. I can't have a nickname of someone who sucks. Yeah, I'm going to go with Smokey Brown there. He's been too consistent. I think he gives the highest floor and arguably about the same upside. Maybe not as high as Robbie Anderson just because he has that one big play threat, but I would say he has the highest floor and a pretty good ceiling of all three guys. Full PPR, need two. Gallup, John Brown, Crowder, Metcalf. So I'm definitely going to sit Metcalf here, full PPR, and I'll probably roll the first two, Gallup and John Brown, Hill. Corey, traded Waller for Manny Sanders in my PPR league. Did I win? I already had Hooper. Oh, yeah, definitely. If you already had Hooper, then you definitely won that. Sanders has been a fucking stud. What's your favorite online clothing stores? I like ASOS, Uniqlo's. Yeah, I use ASOS all the time. I shop there so much. It's because they have free return and free shipping. It's like they do such a good job with that I'll order like $400 worth of stuff, knowing I'm only going to keep like $50 worth, like tons of styles, different sizes and stuff. And they make it so easy because they give you the return label inside of the fucking bag, and all you have to do is peel it off, and it's like sticky, and they have tape on the back of the bag that you don't even need to like tape up the bag. It's already like self done. So ASOS.com is easily the best place to shop online for clothing. DJ Moore, Curtis, Boyd, Parker. Okay, you didn't put Parker in there. Pick 3 out of 4. So Moore is definitely going to be in there. Devontae Parker is going to be in there. And then, what is it, Curtis Samuel or Tyler Boyd? Ooh, that's close. I don't really want to start both Panthers wide receivers because they're going to be in Lambeau. So I guess I'll go with Boyd. But if you go with both the Carolina wide receivers, I wouldn't be mad because Boyd's got a tough matchup against Baltimore. Last time they played, he was shut down by Marlon Humphrey. But who knows? Maybe they get some kind of fucking spark from Ryan Finley. I guess if it's my team, I go Moore, Boyd, and Parker. I only have Metcalf and Robbie Anderson this week in full PPR. Trade Cook for Michael Thomas or Monty for Emmanuel Sanders to get through the week. Current RBs are Dalvin Cook, Le'Veon Bell, Monty, Singletary, Jay Williams. All right, lot to break down there, Steven. Hold on, let me reread that again. Oh, that's brutal. Trade Cook for Michael Thomas. I'm almost definitely not trading away Dalvin Cook. I would be perfectly fine doing the Montgomery for Emmanuel Sanders, though, in full PPR. I think they're probably about even in terms of value rest of the season. I would almost give Sanders the edge there in full PPR in terms of their respective positions. So I'm cool with the Monty for Sanders trade because you have upside backs in Devin Singletary. And Dalvin Cook's playoff schedule is just so damn juicy. Hey, Nick. Hope you have a great thank you, Songbird. Very, very respectful audience we have out there. I hope you have an even better day. Drop Crowder for Jonu. Zam. Jonu Smith over OJ Howard, PPR. Yes, I would do Jonu Smith over OJ Howard. Is Kittle out this week? It's not definite, but it's on the. If I was a Kittle owner, I'd be very concerned. We'll put it that way. You need to have a backup plan. This week's episode of Fade the Public, Animal Snacks are doing a pizza off. We need to think of a fucking better name for that. We're making homemade pizza, both of them. Because Animal's been doing nothing. He hasn't fucking left his house in like months for some reason. And he just keeps making homemade pizza. He's like obsessed with it. Last time I walked into his fucking basement, he was just watching YouTube videos of how to make pizza. And every day he sends us new pictures of pizzas that he made. So Snacks is obviously like, I make a better fucking pizza than you. So they're gonna have a competition. They're gonna bake it off, and then I'm gonna be the judge and judge the two of them. I'm actually really intrigued as to who makes a better pizza. Because straight up, I would say Snacks is probably really good at making pizza because he's so fucking Italian. I feel like all him and his family do is that. But Animal's pizzas have been looking damn good. I'll show you guys some pictures. I send them to George all the time. This is the one you sent today. Like, that looks pretty good. And then this was Snacks' yesterday. It didn't look fantastic, but the bubble looks precious. What else we got? Yeah, if you just like look at our gallery history, you'll just see like 17. Those are all pieces the Animal made. Nah, we go plain. Chill with that. Chill with that pepperoni fucking slander. Would you start Russell Wilson against San Fran? Brian. If you've been following, if you're a patron of Big Dogs and you gotta ask whether or not to start Russell Wilson, I gotta do a better job. Simple as that. Singletary or Gurley, full PPR. Oof. I'm going to go Singletary there. I love his involvement in the passing game, and Pittsburgh defense has been – hey, pipe down in there. I guess Everett, OJ, or Cook to replace as the tight end. Wow, that's a lot of good. Why do you have so many good fucking tight end options? I'd go Gerald Everett there. I'm not excited about it. I kind of think it's a coin flip between the three. I'm pretty sure those are like my tight end 8, 9, and 10 this week. Solid trade targets in exchange for James Conner and Jalen Samuels. Should I be able to get a consistent higher end RB2 for that? Yeah, I mean, I would hope so. James Conner's been a fucking beast. I tweeted out yesterday or 2 days ago, fantasy players, the highest points per game over the last month, and James Conner was like number 3. He's averaged like 25 points per game over the last month, but obviously he hasn't been healthy. I think he'll be back next week and be ready to roll. So I wouldn't give him up I wouldn't like sell him for something on the cheap, but maybe a guy like Aaron Jones or something. Maybe you could look for that. What about picking up Hollister to play for Kittle? I wouldn't do Hollister. Well, depending on what your other options are. I'm not excited about playing Hollister, but Quan Alexander of the Niners is out for the year, and he was like their best cover linebacker. So maybe there's a little upside with Hollister. Do I play DJ Moore or Zach Pascal? That's a great one. I would go DJ Moore, especially with Brian Hoyer out. Oh, fuck, Brian Hoyer's out. I got to change some of my lineups. I mean, Brian Hoyer's in. Cookout on Veterans Day at the HQ. Is this upcoming day? Did people have off? Wilson, you got off on Monday for Veterans Day? Wilson. What the fuck's this guy doing? I think he's probably got his headphones in. Do people have off? Normal like 9 to 5 jobs have off? I don't have fucking off. I have to work. Jesus Christ. All right, y'all. That's going to wrap it up this week. If you have any other questions, you could always drop it onto the Patreon page. It's all good, Brian. I'm just fucking with you. So that being said, yes, Pascal should be picked up because T.Y. Hilton's going to be out another couple of weeks, and Hoyer will not be the quarterback next week. Anyways, that'll be all. So if you want to join us next week, make sure you head over to patreon.com/BDGE. I hope y'all have a fantastic weekend. No, I do not play COD. I don't really have time for video games, to be honest, although I do want to cop a new Xbox to play Madden a little bit because I haven't played in a long time. That's it. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Good luck in your Week 10 matchups, and I'll see y'all on probably Tuesday for the waiver wire live streams in. Love you. Bye.